right? Show up for everybody, but also show up for myself. How can I lean in without compromising my health and wellness, right? Because it's not mutually exclusive. You don't have to be a successful person at the expense, at your expense. We'll get started. So let's delve right in. But first, a little exercise. Okay, to all my yogis in the room, you know what this is about. We're just going to close our eyes, take 3 breaths in and out, and set intentions for this course. Okay, so we're going to close our eyes. You're going to breathe in. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale. Exhale for 3. Inhale for another 3. And one last breath. Inhale, exhale. Now set the intention that vulnerability is okay, that you are worthy, and you're prepared to show up for yourself. And when you're ready, on your last breath, you can begin to open your eyes. And we can delve right in. Sorry. Okay. So, just to reiterate, this masterclass will equip every individual with the necessary tools to thrive in a chaotic society. So the first learning area we're going to focus on is how to make time for wellness practices. People ask me this a lot. I think it was Senna Nu who was like, I love all these things you do. Can I just come to your house and you do it for me? Because like, who has the time? Okay, nobody has the time for this. Okay, but we can make the time, right? So first and foremost, make a plan. Make a plan, right? Step 1 to making a plan. Determine what you would like to gain from your wellness routine. So there's a notes section. There's like a notes section in the back that you could put. These questions are not necessary. These are more like thinking questions. They're not necessarily on the sheet, but you can. So determine what would you like to get in your wellness routine. Oh yes, feel free. Make sure I'm in the photos. What would you like to get out of your wellness routine? Okay. For me, all those years back, it was a 6-pack. Okay, there's nothing wrong with aiming for a 6-pack, right? So, is it physical? Maybe you just feel like, no, I just want to pay more attention to my physical health. Great. Is it mental? I just want to pay attention to sort of like the voices in my head and whatever is happening here. I kind of want to gain some self-awareness. Is it focus? So you said, okay, if it's focus, maybe go see Diana, do a little meditation here and there. Diana runs a meditation workshop at Bliss Yoga. Shameless plug. Every Wednesday evening at 6:30. You're taking shameless plug. Come back in July. Is a meditation, right? So really focus on, okay, what do I want out of a wellness plan? Once you know what you know, start thinking about the things. Start with where you are, right? What you know and where you are. Ask yourself the question, what are some things I already do that help me feel better? You already know. We all have something that helps us feel better. Unless that something helping us feel better is actually a bad habit, then like, be like, oh, smoking cigarettes. It's like, no girl, not that one. Examples. I don't know. Give me an example of something that helps you feel better. Sketching. Yes. Love it. Sketching. Right? It's like, this is all a spectrum. So hers is sketching. I imagine you go into like a meditative state. By the way, meditation is not always eyes closed. Anything that puts you in a state of flow puts you in a meditative space where you feel the most like yourself and most alive, is actually a form of meditation. So that means sketching puts you into, look, I'm assuming, look at me like just telling you what's it, probably puts you in like a very relaxed state. Excellent. So what you do, you make room to sketch, right? You make the time, you make the room, you say, okay, sketching is my thing, right? Perfect. I love that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I was like non-conventional sort of like answers to things, right? So once you know what you'd like to gain and you sort of put yourself through an audit of like, okay, what are the things I already know I like to do? You know, because a lot of times people come and they're just like, oh, I really, really, really want to start doing yoga. And I'm like, great. So do it. Right? Or, you know, I really, really want to get healthy, so I'm like gonna do 5,000 new things. No, we all have something that we do that like makes us feel great. That's like a good habit. Like there's like a caveat to that, right? Once you know that, build a morning checklist. Just write it down and say, okay, what are some things I can do in the morning that I can fit into my morning before I even start my day that help me feel better? For me, one of the things that helps me is a brain dump, either before I go to bed or right when I wake up, just because we have a lot of thoughts all the time. But sometimes I'll just do a brain dump. All the things I've been thinking, everything, just write. And then I'm like, okay, whew. Okay, now that that's gone, and write everything. Sometimes it's anxiety, it's stress, it's just things that you're concerned about. You know, gosh, today was so hot today. I can't wait for like rainy season because like it's so hot or something. Whatever it is, like these things come, you know, somebody cut me off in traffic. Write it down, just write it, like just get it all off your chest and you find that it helps. Okay, so build a morning checklist. So here, think of some habits you can include in a morning checklist. Some people stretching, some people reading their Bible. I had a really good practice that I had started a few years back where essentially what I will do is the first thing I will do when I would pick up my phone was open the Bible app. So at least for that first 30 seconds, first 1 minute, I'm just getting scripture in me, right? So if you have, you know, if for you scripture affirmations is kind of thing that makes you feel better, then like fit it in, right? So the moment I woke up, I'll just open my phone and be like, okay, good. All right, Jesus loves me, this I know. And I'd be great. I'll go on, oh, Nana's here. And I'll just continue on with my day. So if you want inspiration for a healthy morning routine, shameless plug, you can actually watch my healthy morning routine. So once you have a healthy morning routine, like you just saw with mine, schedule it. If you want to remember something, right, they told us, write it down. If you want to prioritize something, build a lasting habit, schedule it. Just make it as important as everything else that you're scheduling, that you have in your list. Over here, I actually have, let me move my cursor so this goes away. Yeah. This is actual footage of me scheduling, you know, my morning checklist routine, my morning yoga. This is when I used to do morning yoga at 8:30. I still do morning yoga. This is a long story. I come on Sundays now. That's what it is. So this is like my favorite point on building wellness routines. Take advantage of valuable downtime. Okay? Examples of valuable downtime. The time between when you wake up and begin getting ready for the day. How many of you spend that time on Instagram? Of us. First thing you do is check your Instagram. And then after being down the rabbit hole for like 15 to 20 to 30 minutes of whatever is happening on the internet, you finally get around to, oh, I probably should get in the shower now. Oh, I probably should get on with my day now, right? It's after you've done that. But what if, crazy idea, you use that downtime to actually work on your health and wellness, right? Like when I used to, the first thing I made a decision, okay, why don't you challenge yourself? The first thing you do every morning has to be nurturing. The first thing, just say the first thing I do every morning needs to be nurturing. And whatever that nurturing is for you, right? So if it's journaling, if it's reading scripture, if it's meditating, just that first thing you do when you wake up needs to be nurturing for your health and wellness. Unless we've decided Instagram is a meditation too, so we'll take that one. During the morning commute, this is when I spend time with my friends on podcasts. I've gotten very close to Dr. Joyce Meyer. We're homies. During my morning commute, I've become very good friends with Oprah, my auntie. I've made some great friends during my morning commute by myself in my car, playing podcast after podcast after podcast, right? So during your morning commute, if you don't, I drive, so there's not much I can do with my hands during that time. But if you're not driving, that's a good time to read. That's a good time to listen to calming music. That's a good time to meditate. That is a good time to just think about your day, plan. But I'll say take advantage of your morning commute to do those things. That's a beautiful time, sis, to sketch. If assuming your hands are free. Like if you're driving, you probably shouldn't sketch. But that's a good time to sketch, do the things. So can you think of other moments of downtime we can take advantage of? So there's morning commute, there's the time that we usually spend on Instagram, but we, could be doing other things.
Safe traffic.
Traffic. You're stuck in safe traffic.
Yeah.
Is there
yeah, there's safe traffic, so if it's on...
like standstill.
Yeah.
Perfect time to use that space to create space. Lunchtime. When meetings get canceled. I always say at lunchtime, we have a gym in our office. I'm like, yeah, lunchtime, I'm going to do this. Lunchtime rolls around, I'm like, I'm okay. When meetings get canceled, I've gotten a lot done when meetings got canceled. What was that, Amma? During meetings? Oh yes, I do so much during meetings, y'all have no idea. Like, those meetings that should have been emails? Yes. Shower time. You can meditate during the shower. You can do shower yoga. I'm sure I choose that shower yoga. See?
I think the most critical time is the time before you sleep. Because
Yes.
that's like the 2 hours before you go to sleep is when your mind needs to close. And usually on phones or on computers or on a phone call that's disturbed us. So I think if we try and center on that moment, like that hour before is the most critical.
150%. Yes, the hour before. What you do the hour before you fall asleep? I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they're like, the worst thing you could possibly do is fall asleep watching something.
And I can't sleep without watching something.
Yeah. It's bad for you, sis. Stop. I fall asleep watching stuff too. I like, and it's a really bad habit because that means that your mind is never ever finding rest. And I always had the habit of not turning things off before I was asleep. Like the lights would be on, something would just be stimulating, but like we're actually very sensitive to light. Mm-hmm. We're extremely sensitive to light. So like to even regulating the temperature in your room, all those things, like we're very sensitive to light. So if you can, turn off the lights, close the curtain, do something to sort of like begin to get into that mode that you're falling asleep. But yes.
Can you give us some suggestions of things to do in that hour?
That hour. I like to read. I like to begin to bring my thoughts down from my regular day and read. Some people like calming music. We've gotten to the habits at home of putting on classical music, piano music, to begin to just like bring the temperature down a little bit. Tea, I was just about to say, that's yours. tea, kind of tea.
Chamomile,
Yeah.
peppermints. Just, I think after a while, your body gets used to that routine. So once I have the tea, then I start like unwinding, and I just put on my bedside table and drink the tea. And by the time I'm done, sometimes I don't even finish the book. I start getting sleepy.
Sometimes what helps is giving yourself a hard stop.
Yeah.
Just saying after 7, I don't boom, boom, boom. I'm just saying. After I'm just directing the advice in this direction.
I'm taking it.
Sometimes giving yourself a hard stop is really good. Like, okay, I don't eat after 7, so that you're not constantly stimulating your body after a certain point, and you can begin to unwind and sort of break it down. So you can say, okay, yes, cup. You put your hand up.
Oh, yes. I thought you were like looking through me. No, a while back I was turning off my phone at a specific time, like I just turn it off, and I wouldn't turn it on till 8 a.m. And it was like, because when your phone is on, you can say you're stopping at a certain time, but then, you know, you'd be tempted and you check something, and then what I really liked actually was just letting my phone battery die by 10. Because then if you have to turn it on, you have to connect it to the power, and then you have some time to think about it.
Do I really want to plug this in? Do you have an iPhone?
Wake
Sorry.
up, you can connect it and then charge. So by the time it turns on.
Perfect. Do you have an iPhone?
I wanted to say I like to read too, but when the book is too interesting, sometimes I really like to read.
Is that wrong?
Too interesting.
It doesn't help you wind down.
Wind down.
It makes you want to stay up and try to
Read something that
Read something else. Well, maybe read something that's more calming. So, like, okay, let's talk about reading, right? Don't read the newspaper, for instance. Don't read gossip magazines, right? Things that elicit a very strong emotional response. I personally wouldn't read, I don't read novels right before I go to sleep. So typically I'm reading 2 or 3 books at once, and they all have their different. So I have a book, maybe an audio book that I listen to on the way to work. Then I have a book that I'll read when I'm sort of stimulated. And then I have a bedside book that's more of like, sort of like usually it's a book that's more in the self-care, self-development range. And so it's stimulating, but not in the same way as a novel. I wouldn't suggest like 50 Shades of Grey before bed. Not that I have a problem with 50 Shades of Grey. Sorry.
Never read any 50 Shades.
This is true.
The joke was
Sure, but the idea. Yes, the idea is not to be overstimulated. No hate. Sorry, if I get I don't want to get sued. So no hate on 50 Shades of Grey. Just saying, not. I wouldn't suggest novels that are overstimulating. Like I said, I'm reading a couple books at once with different. During the day I'll read something a little bit more stimulating, but before sleep I have a book that typically won't leave my bedside, and it's usually something woo-woo and overly deep.
There is this super cool app that some people might know, just called Calm.
Yeah.
And they have bedtime stories.
Yeah.
It's really nice, read by popular actors and stuff.
Yeah.
If I start with that,
You're out.
down. And also night routine, because that is as important as the morning routine, like face.
Exactly. Teeth brushing, all that stuff. So yeah, night routine, just to set in, just to give yourself that setting, that idea, that mode, to get into that mode of I am coming down, right? Just like brushing your teeth makes you feel like I'm a very useful person today. I'm good. I'm stepping out, shower, toothbrush, teeth are brushed. I'm ready for my day. So you have to do sort of that same sort of routine in.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something to it, because I feel like it gives an understanding as to why you shouldn't really excite your brain before going to bed. Because if you think about the fact that you're actually shutting down your system, so your system is your bodily system is on low, and you're putting more things for your system to release energy on. When you wake up, you won't have the energy that you need in the morning to go about your day when your organs are
depleted,
working in full mode and everything. So if you, at night, if you deliberately decide to over-excite your body, that way, it's obvious that you're going to wake up.
You're going to wake up tired because you're literally depleting your system. Like you're working through the night when you should be resting. Sorry, I feel like, did we answer your question of things to do?
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay. Call me. Join a tribe. Join a tribe. Find a tribe. Find like-minded people like yourself. There's a whole rack of like-minded people like yourself in here. Make friends. Call each other. Have these conversations. Open up. The reason I'm saying this is that having a routine, or like let's say exercise for instance, I used to run a lot, and so I had a running partner who lived in Ghana, and then she left me after our marathon. She moved, and running was hard again because there was not that sense of accountability. So subscribe to our newsletter as well. You also get, exclusive information on events like this. Very soon we're going to be prioritizing our subscription list to be able to, this thing was almost like Noah's Ark for a second. So, yeah. And I left Facebook in 2008. That tells you how old I am. I left Facebook in 2008. But because of, life and purpose and doing things, I'm back on Facebook now. So this is cute, right? So I'm back on Facebook. Connect with us. Connect with the Facebook page. I'll be posting a lot of our information that we have on YouTube and also on our website. We'll be doing some cross promotion on Facebook. So come find us on Facebook. How great is my twist out here? Can we just say it turned out right? It's like all the naturals here know when that twist out comes out right. It's like it's better than it's the best feeling in the world. Okay, let me stop going on about my twist out. I'm gonna do a video on that twist out, so y'all gonna get that. And of course, nanakonamah.com. Visit the website, comment on stuff, show me some love, do the do. I'm shamelessly plugging right now, but you know what? We'll keep it going. Great. So we'll move to our second pillar. Second learning area, how do we transform wellness practices into tools that guarantee success in life, business, and pretty much everything? I would say start with why. This goes back to your first question. What is the vision you have for your life? Your vision equals your why. People usually say, well, Nan, I'm not really sure about my purpose. That's fine. But you know what you don't want to be doing. That's a great place to start. Sometimes it's good to start with what you don't want and then say it in the affirmative, right? So I'm trying to think of a good example, a way to do that. For instance, a friend of mine called me and was like, look, I'm thinking about switching careers. And I what I like about what I do is that I get an insight into how things work. And I get creative license, and I still have a lot of control over my time. But I just don't like the environment. I don't like how it's making me think. I don't really see a future in that place. So I said, well, what do you want to do? And he was like, I don't know what I want to do. And I said, that's perfect, right? You just told me what you want. You told me that you want something fulfilling that gives you creative license, that allows you to have control over your time. And you want to do something that allows you to impact society, something that allows you to impact or change the way things work. So that essentially is, you do know what you want. By not knowing what you want, yes, you know it. So think a little bit through. But think about the vision. The vision. What do you want to achieve with your existence on this? All right, that's very important. And there's a, yeah.
It seems like discovering the value by which you want to live your life. It doesn't really matter where you find yourself at.
Exactly.
Anything that will get you to feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
Explore the creative mindset.
It's about you and where you feel you would like to make impact. There's some people who just say, I'll give you an example. I did an MPH because I thought I wanted to go to medical school, and I thought that was it. I was going to medical school, right? But it's interesting, and now I realize what drew me to the MPH, right? That I wanted to be in a space that at least gave me insight into how to help people. And somehow, somewhere, I find myself here today. So what drove me there was the fact that I had such a strong sense of, dismantling. I just wanted to make a change somehow. And I felt like health and development was the place to start, the deal. It was just my desire to be a part of something that felt like I was changing something, I was helping people. So even though on the surface I thought I was going there because I wanted to look good for Harvard Medical School, what was really driving me was my desire for social justice reform. That was really what was pushing me there, right? And that is tying into my purpose, right, and my activism. So yeah, I just think for me, I just knew that I wanted to do something that would get me in a place where I was shifting something, that I was changing something, that I was, I know that my purpose is to consistently shift paradigms, right? Change things, shape things, shift the paradigm, change how we see things, change how we engage with life. And that just came from the fact that I was always popping off on people for things I thought were lies, right? Proud, angry black woman, like I said. So, yeah, okay. Also define what is success to you, right? Because we're trying to figure out how to use wellness as a tool towards success. But we need to understand, what is success? What is success? Keep in mind that you can have both. You can have both. You can have both success and health and wellness. We can have industry without ruining the earth. What about that? What if? Right? It's not mutually exclusive. Doing well and doing good don't have to necessarily be mutually exclusive. So as we think about success, let's also keep that in mind. So what is success to you? You care to share?
Success for me at this moment is sticking with my plan and my strategies 5 out of 7 days a week, or 3 out of 5 working days.
Okay, that's lovely. Hey.
Success for me is lifestyle freedom.
Lifestyle freedom. So you're just out here trying to live your life. That's it. Yeah, freedom. That's real. That hits me in a spiritual place. Yeah, that's real. Freedom. Yeah.
I agree with him. Success is being at peace, being free to live, not being bothered too much about finances. What I've discovered in the past 2 weeks is when you open yourself to that space of not being careless, but you're free to explore and re-experience the different. You get lessons. You are connecting with people whom you might have known, joining you.
Yeah.
Or you want to do essential oil. You know what you want to do in Accra. You find you.
Yeah.
The whole place. And that's what real success is, to being at peace.
Yeah. I think that getting there is the journey. It's really the journey, though, right? Being at the place of finding inner peace is really what the journey is about. I think so, a little bit. But there are too many woo-woo people here. Give me real success.
I think for me, it's seeing all the ideas and projects I have in my head come to life. Like, that's when I'll feel like, okay,
right.
I got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
Right.
I always seem to, I've kind of been struggling between defining it, because it almost seems like my life is split into two parts. So success for me is primarily seeing that my son is taken care of and he's happy.
Yeah.
And that he has the tools that he needs to navigate the world.
Yeah.
But then in order to attain that, it takes a lot of time commitment,
Mm-hmm.
which takes away from the career success.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be happy in one side of my life and feel joy in that side, knowing that I'm working towards it and it's happening. But on the flip side, when I do get to a space where I'm like, okay, am I doing enough career-wise? Is that taking away from the overall success of it? It
Yeah.
doesn't seem like one thing happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Two things happening at the same time.
I get you. I wouldn't even pretend like I fully, because like I'm not a mother, and I think that like motherhood is just such like, yeah. But all the mothers in here join, just glow with it and commune with Maureen. Okay, Cicely, Nana, that's information we can share on what we expect for the motherhood journey. I think I saw a hand back. Okay.
I mean, you are a very good friend of Oprah. So you know that success is definitely not the job description.
Yeah, right.
So I really realized, kind of last year, beginning this year, that success is to find your purpose. Whatever job you're doing, you might do, whatever job, you might have a purpose that is not in your job description. You can still fulfill that purpose, whatever you're doing and wherever you're doing it.
Right. Agreed.
I think that's success for me. So now I don't care anymore what's the title on the business card. I keep doing what I want to do wherever I am.
Yeah. Whew. Takes a lot. Let me tell you, when you're 22, 23, that is not something you want to hear. What? I'm trying to go to grad school. Like, no, girl. That's not success. But thank you anyway. See.
I was saying, I've recently started seeing my mother in me a lot.
This is not the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah, I love my mom. Not all of her, though. And, but the thing that scares me the most is there's behaviors that I'm like, I don't want that to be me. And so I've started trying to change behaviors. And it takes me a minute to catch them sometimes. So success for me is now like, okay, I might have fought with my partner or my friend. It doesn't take me 24 hours to come back and say, it takes me 5 minutes now. Hopefully that person realizes
Growth.
my journey, right? That's to me like, okay, that's a win. It's not perfect, but it hopefully will, and hopefully have the right people around me too.
You know what that is? Growth.
Yeah.
So, in talking about the framework about how to transform wellness into tools that guarantee success in life, relationships, pretty much everything, wellness is an interactive process of becoming aware of and practicing healthy choices to create a more successful and balanced life. It is the framework that we use to organize, understand, and balance our own growth and development. So here's the paradigm. Here's the shift that we need to make, right? This is the paradigm we're shifting here. A lot of times we look at life and a teeny weeny spot, we're like, that's wellness. So let's shift the paradigm and say, here's well-being. That's the framework. And I live my life in that framework. That's how we make that transformation of making wellness something that we do to something that we are.